What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, or just welcome if you are new. I'm so excited that you guys decided to join me today. We are over in Oasis Springs and I am building a Mediterranean style house. This is only on a 20 by 15 lot, but surprisingly I was able to fit a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house on this lot. So with that being said, it really is kind of more house than yard, but I did that by design. I really wanted to have just like a little small yard in the back and a little bit in the front as well, and I think it turned out super cute and I'm super excited for you guys to see it. Before we get any deeper into today's video, I would like to take a second to invite you guys to leave a like on this video if you do find it enjoyable in any way, or if you really enjoy seeing these Mediterranean style houses. It lets me know that you guys like it and that you are excited to see more. And also subscribe if you have not already. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys that takes the time to watch my videos and subscribe to my channel, and also comment down below. I love reading your comments. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get back into the build. So we pretty much have the exterior structure done. I am using these windows from base game. I don't think I've used these on a Mediterranean style house yet. I mean, I could be wrong. I think I slightly remember using them one other time, but let's just say this is the first time because I don't remember 100%. I wasn't sure how it was going to look with those style of windows because they're kind of more classic suburban than Mediterranean. But once I get it all together, I think it actually works pretty well. And that front door is from Seasons. I absolutely love that front door. It seems to be like my go-to, to be honest. The only problem I have with it is that it's kind of like short, to be honest. But we can get around that, especially with platforms. It's super easy to, you know, put a platform up 1 or 2 to make it look like a smaller area, and then the door just looks like it fits more properly. That's a little bit of a cheat that I do. And of course I'm using just the normal, well, I was going to say I'm using the base game version of that Mediterranean like shell style roof, but that actually might be, now that I'm looking at it, the one from Jungle Adventure. I really love the detail that the one from Jungle Adventure has. It looks a little bit more like, not so like perfectly placed, which, you know, probably wouldn't be ideal in real life. But I kind of like it here in The Sims. It adds like an extra detail that I really enjoy. And we are now in the backyard, and I'm just placing not really filler furniture because, not furniture, but filler landscaping because it does end up staying. But I'm just placing what I know I'm gonna want, like these bushes. I always like to outline my builds with the bushes that I'm gonna use just to make it look, you know, more detailed on what I know I want to achieve in the end. And something else that I'm doing that is different than I've done before, so this whole lot is placed on nothing but like the desert sand, and so I kind of wanted to try and paint some greenery where the landscaping is going to be. I do this a lot when I build in Sulani. I've never tried it here in Oasis Springs, so I really wanted to try it this time. And honestly, I don't know, let me know down below what you guys think of the grass, like the painted grass under the landscaping. Obviously, it's not done yet, so don't judge it until you finish the video. But I kind of think it works pretty well. I think it kind of looks pretty good, and it makes it blend in a little bit better too. Other than putting green landscaping right on the desert sand, I feel like that doesn't really work very well. It just looks kind of oddly placed. And then of course in the backyard, I just painted the whole backyard with the green grass. And I do end up adding a lot more landscaping. Well, maybe not a lot more because we have such a small space to work with, but I do end up adding more landscaping in the little corner, and I will talk about what else I add once we get back there. I did something a little bit different. Like, we do have kids in this build, but I didn't add any playground equipment. I figured the kids that lived in this house, they're not very active children, okay? The daughter is very creative. Like, she loves all things creativity. She loves to work on her little kids like activity table and draw pictures for her parents and make friendship bracelets and all of that creative sort of stuff. And then she also has a brother, and he is into like mental skill and like the solar system, crafting on his mental table and making like different potions, like that sort of stuff. So they are very much indoorsy type of children. So I figured, why not make this backyard useful in another way? And I will get into that later. I don't end up adding this particular item until like very, very last. So stay tuned and I'll talk about it a little bit more later. Right now I am placing different like decor items in the backyard. I'm placing these windows where I know I'm gonna want them in the backyard, and I placed a big like rock waterfall in the pool. I love doing that. That is actually new. That came with one of the newer kits. I can't remember exactly which one, but one of the outside kits, obviously. And ever since it came out, I don't know, I cannot stop using it, to be honest. Like, I absolutely love that waterfall. It makes it so much easier to actually use it rather than making your own. I know before that came out, a lot of people would just make their own to go into the pool, and I did maybe once or twice, but it was a lot of work, to be honest. A little bit more work than I would like. So the fact that they added it in a kit and you can just plop it down makes it so much easier, and honestly I feel like it looks nicer too, but that just might be my personal preference. But yeah, and then I added landscaping around the pool. I love doing that. I just think it makes it look so pretty and just a little bit more detailed than if it was just strictly tile flooring all around the pool. I just really love the way that that looks. I know that pool is very, very small, but it will do the job that it is intended to do. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. I guess it's considered more of like a plunge pool. So we are calling this a plunge pool. I do end up adding a couple of floaties in there, which makes it even smaller. But once you guys download this off of the gallery, which of course is available at this time you're watching the video, if you do want to download it, then you could just take those floaties and plop them in your Sims inventory, and then they're out of the pool. That's usually what I do. I just like to add them because it looks cute. That's really the only reason why. I think it looks very, very cute. And yeah, so we are just finishing up some of the terrain paint. So I am adding the grass, obviously, and then around the grass I added some like dying grass, so it kind of isn't just like grass to desert sand. It's grass to like dying grass to sand. So I tried to make it blend in a little bit better. I did like an okay job. I'm not the best terrain painter, but I'm not the worst either. So be nice about it. I don't think it looks bad, but yeah, I mean, just let me know. It's pretty much done now, so I guess you could judge it down in the comments if you really want to. I don't think I add much more landscaping. I could be wrong. I think I add very minimal terrain paint at the end just to tie it all together a little bit more, but for the most part it's pretty much done. And we are inside now, and I am working on the kitchen, and I really enjoyed working on this kitchen. Like, the shape of the kitchen I really, really liked. I had a little bit of a hard time figuring out where I wanted to place like the oven. So what I ended up doing was using like the oven, stove separate from each other. The one that's come from Dream Home Decorator, I did like the stove top. I would have done the stove on the island, but the island is too small. I had to use 2 corner pieces to be able to make it fit there, and I knew I had to have an island. Without the island, it was just way too open and way too, yeah, just open. It didn't look like enough furniture and stuff, and so I really wanted to make sure that I did do the island, but then since I had to only use the corner pieces, I couldn't put a sink or oven there. So that kind of sucks. But I did do the sink right on that window that we're facing right now. It's gonna, yeah, the one next to the refrigerator. And then I placed the stove top in front of that other window, and then the oven right next to it. You'll see here shortly. And something, oh yeah, I just placed it. But something else that I end up doing a little bit later in the build, I really wanted to put a washer and dryer in here somewhere. And obviously, we don't have much room. That bathroom right there, I end up making just the master bedroom, or the master bathroom. So I do end up moving that door from the hallway into the master bedroom. So it's just for the master bedroom. And all the guests will have to walk upstairs to use the guest bathroom upstairs, but they'll be fine. It's The Sims. No one has a hard time walking in The Sims, so they're fine. But anyways, like I was saying, the washer and dryer, I actually end up adding right next to the refrigerator. So right now I had like a tall stand-up cabinet, like a china cabinet sort of thing attached to the other cabinets. I do end up removing that, and I end up adding a washer and dryer there instead. I kind of liked the way that it looked once I placed it there. And I really don't place it there until a little bit later in the build. Like, one of the last things I place inside is the washer and dryer. And it was kind of a decision that I knew I wanted to do since building the house. I just love to add washer and dryers. I really like to make realistic version houses, or realistic houses, you know? But I just didn't know where the heck I was going to put it. So I ended up just thinking about it during the whole build, and that really was the only place I could find. I think I like the look of the actual, like, tall china cabinet there better, to be honest, but the washer and dryer right next to the refrigerator was pretty realistic. I mean, that happens in real life. I see that all the time, especially in like townhouses or apartments. You find them a lot right next to the refrigerator. And of course I'm using the kitchen clutter kit, guys. I cannot get away from using this dang kit. I just really, really love it for my kitchens. It came with so many good items. It's not my fault. Like those canister sets right there, I love how it comes with different like swatches, which has different items in the canister. Like I chose like a pasta one. I put the pasta in the tall one, and then I put the rice in the short one. I felt like that made a lot of sense. And then I really love that hanging basket too, the hanging like fruit basket. I think it is so cute and reminds me of my childhood house. My mom had one of those. And then yeah, I'm just putting like different like little like clutter pieces around. I tried making it not super cluttered. I figured mom or dad doesn't do a whole lot of cooking in this house. I say that, but it looks like they cook a lot, to be honest. But they have kids, so I mean, obviously they have to cook, but it doesn't necessarily mean they like to cook. You know what I mean? So they do it out of necessity. I really was indecisive on these curtains, guys. Obviously, I did not know what I wanted to do with the curtains. I really thought I wanted to have like green like accents throughout the kitchen because of those chairs that I was trying to use, but I could not find like that mint green color in curtains at all. And so I had to honestly delete those chairs and put different chairs, and I think it turns out better anyways. I kind of did like a beige and white theme throughout the whole house. I changed the pink tile that you find on the outside to white tile on the inside just because I thought it looked a lot better in the kitchen. Once I placed the kitchen cabinets and stuff, I could not find a swatch that I liked to go with that pink tile, so I had to change it. And once I did, I really liked it, to be honest. I love that white tile. I think it is so pretty, and I'm pretty sure that is from Lovestruck. And they do have like a beige version, and I think they have a pink version. They have a bunch of different colors of this tile, but I absolutely love the basic white square tile. Like that is like my favorite in real life and here in The Sims. I think it looks so good. And then the chairs that I ended up changing to, I think that's from Get Famous, and I love those chairs, and they match perfectly with the cabinet set and the island and stuff, so I had to use it. And that like pantry cart right behind the island and the bar stools right there. Obviously, the woods do not match perfectly, but sometimes that is what happens, and we just have to ignore it. I hate the fact that they don't match perfectly, but I really wanted to use that item, so I just had to ignore it, even though my eye was like drawn to it, and I'm like, oh god, that is like irritating me so much. Like, I'm still looking at it, to be honest, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal. But I am remembering now that I do add some dog treats where I'm placing like that radio and stuff down there. I should have left that stuff. I think it looks so cute now that I'm looking at it, but I do end up deleting that radio and I just add some dog treats there instead because I thought I was gonna add a dog bowl somewhere, but I'm remembering now that I totally forgot to add a dog bowl. So if you download this and you want a pet, don't forget to have a bowl for your pet or else your pet will die. Well, I don't think pets die. Do they? Yeah, they do, because there's ghost pets. Oh, that's sad. That's kind of sad, though. I don't like the thought of that, to be honest. So it's like, it's weird. I think all of us feel the same way. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of us, it's like, yeah, your Sims? Yes, I'm gonna kill my Sim. That's fine. That's not sad at all. Sometimes it can be. But for the most part, it's not. My pet, my Sim's pet, is a whole different story. That makes me very, very sad to think about. So I don't like that. It makes me super sad when you're in like Brindleton Bay and you see the dead animals walking around, the ghosts. That is so sad. I don't like that. I want to bring them back to life. But at least they're living their best doggy ghost life, right? I mean, at least they're still able to enjoy life and still able to play and all that. But anyways, back to the kitchen. You know, I was saying that the parents really don't like to cook, but this looks like a very busy kitchen. But like I was saying before, I guess it kind of has to be when you have 3 kids. There probably is always someone here in this kitchen. I feel like Dad is more of a cook than Mom is. Like, Mom is not into cooking at all. Like, she would order the food delivery all the time. Which, I'm trying to think what the food delivery is called in The Sims. It's called something. I don't remember what, but I'm calling it food delivery. Mom, if it's her night to cook, she's like, okay, we're ordering pizza. Okay, we're ordering, like, Uber Eats, whatever it's called in The Sims. What do you want? That sort of thing. And then Dad's like, okay, well, you know what? It's your night to cook. You do whatever you want, but tomorrow night is my night to cook, and I'm cooking tacos. So, yeah, Dad's more of the type to cook. As far as the parents' careers go, to be honest, I didn't think of any. I didn't think of, like, what they did as a career. I don't think I placed any skill building items for them either. I do have a chess table upstairs in the hallway because literally there was nothing else to put there. I almost did like another like little like seating area, but I decided to make it more useful and put a chess table out there. And then I put a telescope on the balcony outside because I am not creative and that's like what I do all the time. But I really love the telescopes. I love that you can use it and there's a chance for your Sim to die. Which kind of, you know, goes off the conversation we were having earlier. Like, I don't feel bad about my Sims dying, but I feel bad about their pets dying. I don't know. I don't make sense sometimes. But, the only thing that I don't like about the telescopes in The Sims 4 is that you don't get abducted by aliens like you do in The Sims 2. So, if you use the telescope in The Sims 2, there was a probable chance that you would get abducted by aliens, and there was like this cutscene, and you guys probably know, if you're a Sims 2 fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's super, super sad that The Sims 4 does not have that. Like, I'm not gonna go as far as to ask to put a cutscene in there for me. Do I love cutscenes? Yes. Do I need them? I guess not. But at least give me the chance of getting abducted by aliens. Do I have to beg you to be abducted by aliens? I feel like it's so hard to be abducted here in The Sims 4. And then, like, finally you get abducted and, like, your male Sim doesn't even come back pregnant. And I feel like, for me, That's the most exciting part of getting abducted by aliens, is that my male sim becomes pregnant. And then we have an alien baby, and then we get to raise the alien baby. At least, you know, in The Sims 4, you do have the option to send it back to the homeland. I can't remember if The Sims 2 had that. I want to say it did not. Like, you were stuck with that baby. But alien babies are so stinking cute that I was never upset when my sim got alien pregnant. I was always happy about it for some reason. And that's probably why I'm kind of complaining about The Sims 4 not having a higher chance of being abducted. Honestly, you don't have to do anything in The Sims 4. You can just be playing in your house and like your sim will just go outside and observe this like weird glowing light, and then they get abducted by aliens. But it's like a slim chance. It's like a 0.0000001% chance of getting abducted by alien. I don't like that. I know there's cheats to make it a higher probability. I tried doing that one time and I made it too likely. I think my sim got abducted by aliens like every day for like a week. And I think I just ended up playing that save, to be honest. I don't think I continued that save because I think I messed it up. And he was getting abducted way too much. But yeah, I guess, you know, it's one or the other. There's no safe in between, one or the other. But anyways, we ended up getting the front room done. I did put a computer desk right by the staircase, and then I put like an ottoman with a mirror right behind it. I love doing that in my entryways. I think it's super cute, and you know, I guess it could be realistic. I've never had a mirror right by my front door. I would love one. That's actually a pretty good idea, to be honest, having like a body mirror so that you could check yourself before you go out to make sure you look fine, you know, you look decent enough to go out. And then an ottoman, I feel like your sim could sit there to put their shoes on or whatever. And then the computer desk, there was nowhere else in this build that would fit a computer desk at all. Maybe upstairs where I put the chess table, but it would have been an awkward place to put it, to be honest. And so really the only place that made sense was right by the staircase. I could have squeezed one here in the living room, but I really like the look of how clean it is. The only thing is that I totally forgot to put decorations on the coffee table. So the coffee table is very blank, but you guys could totally add stuff if you download this, if you don't like the blankness of the coffee table. But I feel like this family is a very neat family, so it kind of makes sense that they have absolutely nothing on the coffee table. And same with this bedroom. This is the parents' bedroom, the master bedroom, and there's not a whole lot going on here. It's very clean and very tidy and not much clutter going on at all. I think the most cluttered room is the kitchen, which is kind of given. I feel like kitchens are always kind of more on the cluttered side, unless you have like no kids and no snacks and nothing. You have no appliances, you have nothing, then it's not that cluttered. But if you have like a whole family, chances are it's going to be cluttered, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's clean and tidy. There's nothing wrong with like organized clutter, right? But we're still working on the master bedroom. I just for some reason popped over here to add some outdoor furniture just because it was bugging me that it was blank. And I did add a fan in the living room, the master bedroom, and outside, which is kind of interesting. I feel like that's kind of fancy to have a fan outside. I did not add any in the children's bedrooms now that I'm thinking about it. I should have done that. I just love adding a ceiling fan in The Sims. I love one in real life, and that's probably why I like to add one in The Sims, just because it makes it look more realistic. And I also added like a little PlayStation in the parents' room, just for something, to be honest. And I didn't add any more clutter items. I guess I just wasn't feeling so cluttery today. Like, I usually overdo the clutter in my builds, and today I was just having a different day. I just really wanted to be nice, neat, and clean. And so, yeah, I mean, that is it for the master bedroom. Can you believe that I didn't add more clutter? I can't. I usually add like a whole bunch of stuff on the dresser and like some shoes on the floor and all that. I do, however, make the kids' rooms a lot more cluttered. I love doing that for my kids' rooms because what kid in real life doesn't have a very cluttered bedroom that might be a little bit on the messy side? That's what kids do. They have a lot of stuff, to be honest. This is the master bathroom, which it's a bathroom, and I'm using the sleek bathroom kit. It's one of the newer kits, just to add some like different decor pieces. And honestly, I find it very easy to build a room using just that kit for that room, if that makes sense. Like the sleek bathroom kit, for instance. If you use nothing but the sleek bathroom kit in your bathroom, it just makes it look so much better because all the items are made to be with each other. But with that being said, I didn't use, not all of those items was from the kit. Like the shower and the sink, both of those were from growing together. But for the most part, I did add nothing but the sleep bathroom kit items, especially as far as like the clutter pieces go. I just really like to do that. And I used the mirror from that kit, which is the first time I did, because I really don't love that mirror, to be honest. I feel like it's kind of weird. It just doesn't fit in a lot of houses that I do, but it kind of fit down there in the master bedroom, so I decided to use it. And while we're on the subject of bathrooms, I totally forgot to do this bathroom upstairs, guys. It wasn't until I was completely done with the build that I realized I literally forgot to do that bathroom. So I did not record myself doing it, but honestly, it's a bathroom, I wouldn't be sad if I were you. It's nothing special. It really just looks like the one that I did downstairs. I just didn't put a sink or a tub shower combo. I just did a regular shower. That's really the difference. But we are now upstairs working on all of the children's bedrooms. This is the teen's bedroom though. And I was kind of thinking it's for a teen girl. It really could be for either or, but I was thinking a teen girl. And I tried my hardest to do something different than I've done before. I don't think I've ever used these colors together in a bedroom, but I based it off of that bed. I absolutely love that bed. That bed is from high school years. I love the style of it. I love how it looks boho. And I love that particular swatch with the sunflower and the other like flowers around it. The colors are so pretty together. And so I'm basing all of the different decorations off of that bed swatch. And I think it turned out pretty interesting and kind of cute. Like, I kind of really like it, to be honest. And then of course those curtains are also from high school years, and I kind of tried to stick with that boho theme throughout this whole room. And then I'm adding a computer, also from high school years. I use high school years in my teens rooms and my kids rooms like a lot. That's like my go-to for my kids and teens rooms, to be honest. It's got so many good items for like teens and kids and stuff for their rooms. It's just perfect. And another go-to of mine now is the Comfy Gamer Kit. I absolutely love that kit. I say that like in every video. It's just so cute, and it makes it really easy to decorate, like a computer table in a kid's or teen's room, to be honest. And there's a lot of like neutral colors to be able to decorate it for like adults too. Not that adults can't like color. I'm just saying, like, a lot of adults, they're kind of more on like the neutral side. Not really me. I really like colorful stuff, to be honest. Like, I love color. It just makes it feel so much happier inside if it's colorful. But I am placing different decorations on like this cork board. Like, I don't really know what you call that, but it's from the Comfy Gamer Kit. And there's a blank section right there that I kind of had a hard time trying to figure out what to put there. But I decided to delete some of the walls and place these hanging photos. I felt like that is such a teen thing to do, is to have hanging photos. I love that look. And I did use some of those like mason jar flowers from the Nifty Knitting Kit. I really liked the way that it looked there, but once I placed the photos, I felt like it was a little bit too much, a little bit too busy, you know what I mean? Something else that I put here is that little like Bella Goth getting abducted by alien light. I love that thing. That's so cute. I want that in real life, to be honest. You know, I'm actually super, super surprised that the Sims team has not made that and is selling it on their website. I feel like people would buy that up like instantly. At least I would. By any chance, if anybody on the Sims team is watching little old me, which, you know, probably not, there's probably like a less of a chance of them watching me and my video than my Sim getting abducted by aliens. But if you are, make that Bella Goth being abducted light sculpture thing, please. I love that thing. That is so cute. I would love to have that in real life. I would stick it up on my shelf and look at it every day and kiss it. Okay, that's weird. I went a little bit too far there. But no, I really do love it. And I really love the way that this room turned out. I think it's so cute. I love how I have that bookshelf kind of like sectioning off certain parts of the room. So she has like her bedside where she sleeps and maybe hangs out and writes in her diary. And then the other side is like the hangout side where she'll hang out with her friends, play on her computer, play with her friends on the computer, all that stuff. I think it's so cute. We are now over into the boys' room. So this is the child boy, and like I said, he's really into like mental skill, nothing physical at all. He does not like playing outside on monkey bars, swinging on the jungle gym, none of that. He's not for any of that. Like, he barely even likes to swim, to be honest. If it's outside in the sun, he don't like it. He really just likes to be indoors playing his video games or playing with his mental table, maybe playing like some computer games, whatever it is. Inside, he's all for. He'll even just sit here and read books. Like, he'll do that all day if he could. And yeah, I mean, nothing really special going on here. I did place a project. I did the rocket ship for him, and then his sister in the other room, the child girl. I ended up doing the castle project for her. I love doing that in my kids' rooms. It's super cute. When you were kids, or when you were a kid, weren't you super proud of the projects you made? So I felt like it made sense to put projects, like completed projects, in their room. And I did perfect quality for both of them, just because they're perfect. And then as far as like the posters and stuff around his room, I just tried to stick with the solar system theme. And then I did a little beanbag chair so that he could play his video games either in bed or in his little beanbag chair. And yeah, I mean, it's super simple, but honestly, I think it came out super, super cute. That bed, I think, is from Parenthood or kids' room stuff, but I think Parenthood. And I don't really use that bed very often. I don't use that bed, and the bed that I place for the child, the girl child, I don't use that bed at all. I actually forgot it even existed. It's not really my favorite, but I do love the pink zebra print like that. When I was a kid, I would have been obsessed with that. I loved zebra print as a kid. I don't know why, especially if it was pink and hot, like light pink and hot pink mixture. Been obsessed, 100% obsessed. But yeah, so for their rooms, I just tried to stick with their personalities. So he's really into mental stuff, so I did like a lot of like mental posters, solar system posters. I did even use, it's from high school years, and I think it's like the periodic table. He literally has a decoration of a periodic table like that's crazy. But we're over in the girls' room now, and like I said, she's very creative, so I tried to keep it with like very creative like items and colors and stuff. And obviously she's a huge fan of pink, and she also has a hamster in her room, so I did forget to place a food bowl for a cat or a dog, but I did not forget the hamster. I never honestly remember to use the hamster cage, so when I do, I get super, super excited. And they have different animals for the cages. I just always seem to use the hamster one because, let's be honest, I just can't bring myself to get the rat one, to be honest. I know there's people out there that like rats, and you know, I'm not judging, but the rats are not my thing. Like, the hamster's pretty much, oh, I would do a hedgehog because that just sounds cute to me. And then the void critter. Okay, so the void critter is just not realistic. That's the only thing about the void critter. But the only one that I really refuse to do is the rat one, to be honest. I just cannot do that. Here is where I'm placing the washer and dryer. This is when I realized I did in fact want to have one, and that is the only place I could put it. Like I said, I do really like the tall cabinet a lot better. It looked a lot more aesthetically pleasing, but the washer and dryer is realistic, right next to the fridge, kind of. And that's the only place, so it is what it is. If you don't like it, by all means, you could delete that and place whatever you wanted there. And in this hallway, like I said, it's just this chess table and then some like decorations, like some lights and some picture frames, and I also put a plant in there as well. And then that balcony, like I was saying, I do just end up placing a telescope and then like another plant, to be honest. And then I ended up changing out each of the doors on the kids' rooms to the version where it has like different decorations on it. And I absolutely love doing this. It makes it look so cute for each of the different kids in the house to have a unique door based on their personality. The only complaint that I have is that they don't have enough male versions, like enough for boys. Which, you know, is a complaint for anything that has to do with males in The Sims. They just don't make enough clothes or anything for guys. I don't know why. I think they're starting to focus more on it, but they did a horrible job at those doors. They have one swatch for a boy, and I don't like that. They could have done a lot more there. But we are all done with the inside, and we are now back focusing on the outside. And to go back to what I was saying earlier, I built up all of this suspense, and literally I added a beach towel, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't do that on purpose. I'm realizing how much suspense I made earlier. But I figured that this is actually the teens' hangout area. So the teen girl loves to come outside, listen to her music. She has some little like sparkling waters or like sodas right there in that cooler, and then there's her sun tanning lotion right next to it, and then of course a towel for her to just lay out and enjoy the sun. So this is like her favorite hangout area other than her bedroom, of course. This is where she comes out on a hot sunny day in the summer and just really enjoys the sun, and she always invites her friends over and has like a little mini pool party. This is like her spot right here, and nobody else in her family is really the outdoorsy type, so it kind of works out perfectly for her. But it looks like we have reached the end of the video for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, please leave a like and also subscribe if you have not already. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.